welcome to another edition of the Time Flies podcast. I am, of course, your host, Dariel. And I should say, if you are listening and or watching, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. But if you are watching this video, you can see to the right of me, we have a very familiar face. We have a very familiar voice in the building. He calls himself Fake Analyst, but I call him the Hip Hop Encyclopedia. You heard?
Yeah.
I got my guy Mike in the building.
Tonight, it's not so much the same speed of fake analytic. It's because this is movies. This is your host's real point of reference and experience. So I'm learning from the master here.
Aw, that's so nice of you.
We're nice sometimes. Not too nice. We keep it tasteful, okay?
To keep it tasteful. How you been though?
Maintaining.
Maintaining.
And I'm Ray Allen's #1 fan.
Hey, we're gonna get into the shits. But everything all good?
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that, bro. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, just like my man Mike said, it's a little bit of a change of speed. We're not reviewing an album. We're not talking about a specific musical artist. We're bringing it back to the essence
of the Time Flies.
Yes, of what Time Flies represents. We're bringing it back to the essence, which is movies. And in the spirit of the NBA Finals going on.
Killed that.
All that good stuff.
I didn't even do the science. This guy's on to some.
I appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, in the spirit of the NBA Finals and all that good stuff, we were talking about the 1998 cult classic. I'm sorry, because that's a little conversation. It's not classic. To me, it's a cult classic. Oh God, I think we're off to the races already. All right, hold on. Let me intro it. The 1998, to me, cult classic, Spike Lee joint. Yes, right behind me. He Got Game, starring Denzel Washington. Oh my God.
Let's just no.
Oh shit.
Because if that's the case, you would have to categorize every Spike Lee movie as a cult classic.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, it's just...
Okay, so let's do it this way. What registers as a general classic versus a cult classic?
Just like
in
anything.
Spike Lee's catalog.
Oh, okay. Oh, Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
No question.
And why is that?
Because Do the Right Thing is like, it's like a... Look at the undertones of that movie, just racial and all that stuff.
It still applies today.
100%.
I'm in agreement that it's a general classic.
100%.
This is also a general classic.
You see, Tim. Wow, we're really off to the races. My guy,
maybe
fuck with it, dog. That's all good. But the reason why this is a cult classic is because obviously this is a basketball movie and it's very specific.
It's more niche, but it's not that niche in the sense of, first of all, Spike Lee is one of the most prominent directors.
Yo, Spike, what up, boy? Shout out.
And
yeah.
I met Spike Lee at a Knicks game.
Oh shit, really?
When I was 13, I was at a Knicks and Wizards game. And
you saw Jordan?
No, I missed him. He must have been injured. I didn't get to see him.
Still fire.
So I happened to be on the court at that time because my father's friend had tickets, and I saw Spike. And at that point, I was really into Spike Lee. I just saw Do the Right Thing for the first time recently. I watched like 70 times. So I had my Knicks ticket, and I just approached him. And I was never, to this day, I'm never the type of person to approach people, celebrities. It doesn't matter who it is. But I was so compelled at that moment because it's Spike, it's the Knicks game. So I go up to him, and I'm like, Spike, Do the Right Thing is one of my favorite movies. And bro, when I tell you, this guy was like one of the nicest guys on earth. He was like, yo, man, I appreciate... He was probably initially looking at me with my fucking Allen Houston jersey. Like, what's this little white motherfucker doing? But he signed the ticket. I still have the ticket to this day.
Fire.
And at that same game, because I was wearing the Allen Houston jersey, I'm still there courtside. Allen Houston passed me the ball. I passed it back to him.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, that's fire. You never told me that memory, dog.
Yo, I was saving it for the pod.
Look at that, man. Look at that. My man knows the drill, boy. My man knows the drill without even me telling him. Fucks with you, dog.
So, back to the point.
Wait. Before we divert, what was the gear that you were wearing that day to the Knicks game? You said the Allen Houston jersey.
Allen Houston jersey. Bro, I might have had the whole Knick thing on. I might have had the Knick champion shorts too.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I forgot the kicks though.
This is early 2000s or 90s?
This is 2002, 2003.
2002,
This is
2003?
early, bro.
Okay.
Right outside of the 90s.
Okay, if you had to ballpark it, what kicks? Please give me something though. You gotta complete the fit, dog. The Allen Houston jersey it was a champion jersey, right?
Yeah.
Of course, champion all the way. Champion shorts. Come on, boy. Please tell me you were wearing some like.
It wasn't nothing too special. It was probably the Air Force Ones, all white.
All right.
Low top too.
Oh, you gotta go low top.
So,
I respect that.
So
Uptowns.
Uptowns. I think.
It's a New York classic. So
I'm pretty sure that was the fit, if I'm not mistaken. But
right.
yeah, so one of the most prominent directors,
right,
still within the prime of his career, arguably one of the top 10 most prominent actors of all time.
Mm-hmm. No question.
In one of his best roles.
No question.
I mean, I get the piece about it being a little more niche than to do the right thing.
Right.
But I don't know, man. It's still very much a cinematic classic.
Listen, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, I agree with you. I love this movie. If you want to call it a classic, I'm the last person to argue with you. But I'm just looking at it like very specific. Yeah, I'm looking at not even objectively. I'm just like I feel like I have a really really big microscope on it. The way I'm talking about it, because I'm saying that it's kind of niche. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking at it with really really intensive lens right now. That's why I call it a cult classic, because it's a niche topic and it's very specific to a specific community. But like you said a little earlier, there are tones of this movie that it's very universal.
Yeah.
So I also get it from where you're coming from. But we could agree to disagree, you know?
Like, to me,
you don't gotta jump down my throat though. Pause.
Because cult classic is like Belly to me.
100%.
That's a cult classic.
Juice?
It's low budget.
Oh my god, yo, there's two movies we didn't agree on? How is Juice not a cult classic, dog?
Juice is a classic. Juice captures New York City at a time, bro. If people consider movies like New Jack City a classic and not a cult classic, even better, a movie like Menace to Society that documents LA street culture. Nobody calls that a cult classic. They just call it a classic.
Facts. That's
Juice is a classic.
Yeah, fuck, man. Like, I think.
Is there anti-Tupac bias going on?
Hell no.
Okay,
Hell no. Tupac obviously is the GOAT. But, yeah. What he did as Bishop, that shit is spooky good. But,
well, they say that changed his persona outside of the movies, too. But that's another.
Yeah. No. We're talking about movies. We can talk about anything we want, boy.
Maybe that's another podcast.
That's already thought. Like, click. That's going to be another pod. We're going to cover Juice, you heard? But, okay, yeah, let's put aside the cult and the classic movies. Let's bring it back to my man Denzel. Like we said, 1998, Spike Lee joint, starring Denzel Washington, starring Rosario Dawson, starring Ray Allen. We're gonna get into some kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff about like the actors playing in this movie and like what could have been and whatnot. But we also gotta mention John Turturro, New York native all day.
One of my favorite actors of all time. Any movie that I see him in, I look forward to. He kills everything.
Small role. He only has one scene, but it's John Turturro.
That's all he needs.
So before we break down if you haven't seen this movie, first and foremost, go watch it now.
ASAP.
Big facts. Second and foremost, whatever. I wanted to talk about the cast that I just said. So we got Denzel's from Mount Vernon.
Yep.
Rosario's from New York City, just Manhattan.
Yeah.
John Turturro's from New York City.
I think he's from Queens.
I think he is from Queens. My bad. And Jesus, Ray Allen's sister in the movie. I forgot
Zelda Harris.
Zelda Harris. Again, looking up the information, she's from New York too. So we do have a lot of New York.
And the coach, the high school coach.
The high school coach as well. Ray Allen was born in California. I looked that up. I wish he was from New York, but so I'm just saying we have a lot of like New York blood in this movie.
It showed. That's why the movie came out the way it came out.
Keep it authentic, you heard? Okay, so let's get into what the movie's about. So if you're picking up, we're throwing it back to the 90s, okay? So if you're picking up the VHS and you turn it around, obviously every movie has a little paragraph of what the movie's about. So just in our words, pick up the VHS tape, turn it around. And me personally, it's about a kid in high school who's the star basketball athlete, and he's getting ready to pick as far as like what his next steps are after high school. And during this time, not a lot of players were jumping straight to the NBA.
Right.
So he was thinking about picking colleges, and some of the colleges are fictional, like
In
Big
the
State.
movie.
Yeah, Big State's a fictional
Big State's
college. Yeah,
fictional. But they had
there was another one too.
Big State was based on Texas though. I
Texas
Yeah.
Tech or Texas.
believe. Texas.
Okay,
Wherever Rick Fox actually went, I don't.
Rick Fox. That's a good-looking man.
Yeah,
I said it. No, I'm not scared to say it, but whatever.
Guy fucking slays Fox.
Okay, but in the midst of all that, you also have Denzel Washington's character, who is Ray Allen's father, Jake Shuttlesworth. He's been incarcerated for a good while at this point.
Mhm.
And the warden of the jail that Denzel Washington is at, he finds out that Denzel Washington's character, Jake Shuttlesworth, is the father of Jesus Shuttlesworth, the #1 high school student in America. So the warden is like, "Hey man, if you could help us out, if you could get the letter of intent signed for the governor, because the governor of New York State,
Yeah.
the governor of New York State, he's a big fan of basketball and he wants him to go to his alumni school, Big State. So he makes Denzel try to get his son to sign the letter of intent, and then that's where the movie kicks off, and we see a whole bunch of shit, the relationship between Ray Allen and Denzel Washington, a lot of undertones about just family stuff and all that stuff. Okay,
Before we go any further,
talk to me.
why don't you pop one of those off and show the
My
listeners what you're fucking wearing on your
God.
feet?
Okay, so in the
In the
comments,
spirit of.
in the spirit of, and in the comments, don't ever question my loyalty, because you know what? Boom, baby, check that out. Look at that. The He Got Games Jordan 13s, my boy.
Best 13 ever made.
Look at that. Don't even question my loyalty. Don't question my loyalty.
Don't do it.
Anytime.
Don't do it.
And leave in the comments how much you love these shoes. If these are the best Jordans or these are your favorite Jordans, leave in the comments.
Yeah.
But let's stick on that real quick. You said these are the best 13s.
Best 13s.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, easily.
This movie made me love the 13. This specific 13s.
And there's something too, like, I'm sorry, Time Flies listeners. There was a story behind Denzel wearing those 13s in this movie, and it loses me. But it did something. It did something for the Jordan brand. Like, on top of the best player in the world at that point wearing the sneaker and it being his sneaker.
Correction, the best player ever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. But I mean that,
Yeah.
like, and that was something Spike Lee always did too.
What?
Sneakers.
100%.
Do the right thing, like,
Yeah.
paid it. Jordan specifically, obviously Mars, he was in the commercials with, like, but he always, and that's a very New York element in his movies, just in him. Like, he pays attention to those details. There's always a pair of Jordans. There's always sneakers. There's always
Yeah.
the gear. Like, it's special, man. I love Spike.
Big facts. Spike is super New York, bro. Love him to death. Representing New York at all times.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this movie made me love the actual He Got Game 13s. And I remember as a little kid, I used to look at these shoes and I was like, ew, they look like Oreos. I didn't like them. And then once I got a little older and I understood the relevance of this movie, realizing the cultural impact, I was like, yo, these are fucking fire.
Yeah, no.
And I had to bring them out for the pod. You heard? Yeah, no, but to piggyback off what you're saying with Spike Lee and the sneakers in his movies and stuff, you're right, man. Spike is super New York, and he's always like plugging something into his movies, Jordan shoes, and all that.
Yeah, Spike, in this 10-year span from probably Do the Right Thing to He Got Game, I would mark He Got Game as the last piece of this chapter where Spike Lee just did a brilliant job of depicting New York
Yeah,
at that time.
yeah,
Whether it was 1989 and Do the Right Thing or 1998 with He Got Game.
yeah,
And even like the culture of coming up, obviously, as we spoke offline, based on the trials of Stephon Marbury.
Stephon
So-
Marbury.
Man,
Yo, look, and also Stephon Marbury doesn't get the love that he gets anymore because he did some weird shit back in the day,
Yeah.
and like he was going through it. He's human, whatever. But like Stephon is that guy, bro.
yeah, absolutely.
He's that guy, man. And-
That Timberwolves team could have been something too.
Yeah, him and KG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad.
Could've been
man.
something.
Yeah, but I'm saying Stephon, and then after Stephon, it was his cousin Sebastian. After
Never
Sebastian,
knew they were cousins. Time flies. He just put me on. I never knew they were cousins.
for real?
Never.
Oh shit. So yeah, his cousin Sebastian Telfair, and then after Sebastian Telfair, we got Lance Stevenson. After Lance Stevenson, I'm not 100% sure who was the next Lincoln star, but I'm saying like Stephon Marbury kind of set it off.
clearly a breeding ground over there.
Bruh.
And it's also like me and your host were talking about offline. I was just in Coney Island a couple months ago because obviously my kids, they like the Nathans, the aquarium. Coney Island is one
Shout
of
out the little girls. You heard?
Yes, shout out to my daughters. Always.
It's
Stay
like,
away.
It's like you were like kind of cool, but you also like kind of like.
I'm on guard
right
because
home.
my kids. I keep them away. But the
I'm
what do you call it? No. But it's one of the only areas that have kind of kept their identity through all the changes in New York City. For instance, if you're to watch this movie, which was filmed in '97,
Correct.
comes out in '98.
Correct.
Coney Island still looks and feels very much the same as it does in this movie. So if you're in New York and you want to experience some real New York environment, go to Coney Island. Just don't go to the wrong block.
Big fact. Just stay
Don't
within
go-
like the Wonder Wheel and those
Stay
festival
stay
stuff.
by the Nathans.
Yeah,
Stay
yeah,
by
yeah.
the Cyclone. Don't cross under the L line over there past a certain time. You know?
But yeah, that vibe in the summer especially, it's so
Yeah.
good, man. It's so
Yeah.
good. Just hot dogs and like carnival stuff. It's
Yeah.
super fun, man. All right. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get into some topics regarding the movie. We're not gonna break down every scene for the movie for you guys. Go check it out on the side. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about specific aspects from the movie. Like the first thing I'm gonna throw at you. Tell me, I mean, we're both gonna have the same answer, but like,
Yeah,
who? It's pretty obvious. Who was the MVP of this movie? The guy behind us,
right there.
Denzel.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
another
insane, bro.
one. Yeah, he.
Like,
I mean-
I'm pretty sure you get to have back surgery after this movie.
Yeah,
because it
he
was-
he can't. Well, here's the thing: is that what a lot of the better directors do is they have their cast of guys. So obviously, Spike is gonna have the Roger Gouverneur Smith. He's gonna have Jeffrey Bird. He's gonna have John Turturro.
Yeah.
These guys that are regulars in his movie. So he keeps his baseline, I guess, cast.
Yeah, he's just
Now
type.
he also has some experience dealing with this man right here. Now,
I would include Denzel in that.
Denzel's in,
though.
but he's not as specific to Spike Lee as the others.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
He kind of outgrew that brand.
I feel what you're saying.
So it was a relatively solid acting crew, aside from.
We'll get into
yeah,
that.
we'll
We'll
get
get
it.
into
But
that.
Denzel just, smoked this shit. Denzel does
100%.
what Denzel does in this movie. This is him.
Just fucking carrying
Just-
the fucking
just-
movie because Denzel is the GOAT, baby.
He
I'm running out
really-
of breath.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. Will Smith, get the fuck out to the side, bro.
Oh,
we don't fuck with you no
nah.
more.
Yeah, no. But that
Nah, we do fuck
before
with
the
you, but
slap
whatever.
before the slap though, that's not even a conversation. Will Smith.
Oh
and
yeah,
Denzel
I'm with you.
Washington
I'm
is
with you.
not
I'm with
even
you.
a conversation.
Yeah, I'm with you. Denzel.
Denzel
yeah.
Washington.
Is it a wash?
It's a wash completely.
Oof. Okay. I don't know about a wash, but Denzel very, very handily takes Will Smith, but it's not like 20-0.
Denzel smoked this shit, and you really,
Okay.
this man. Let's see, where is he at this point in his career?
Right now?
No. At this point in
Oh.
'98, he's Malcolm X was '92.
Yeah, it's far
Where we
away
at?
from that.
We-
I'm not sure.
This is Man on Fire time too, right?
Nah, Man on Fire is after this. Man on Fire is like early 2000s, like 2002, 2003. I want to say it's kind of within that run when he was doing like The Bone Collector, The Manchurian Candidate.
Right.
Damn it, there's like two more that I'm forgetting. But he had a little bit of a run, and I think that's where it lies here.
This
You know?
There's nothing more to say other than that this man is the clear-cut MVP of the movie.
No, listen, man, Denzel. There's not a lot we can say because everybody's in agreement. Like he's one of the guys. He's one of the ones, if not the one. Like he was appointed the next Sidney Poitier after Sidney Poitier,
Right.
and then after Denzel, it was supposed to be Will, but now this whole thing kind of fucked things up. But dude, name a movie that Denzel was whacking.
Oh no, you can't get me to do that.
Besides like when he was super young,
Yeah,
breaking
no.
into Hollywood.
We
Like
don't-
no.
We're
Name me a bad Denzel movie that
No.
he was the lead in. You can't.
You can. And in this movie particularly, as you spoke about earlier, the little bit of a cheat code is the fact that he is a New York native. So there's certain elements to his swag, to his demeanor that just come naturally.
Shout out Mount Vernon.
But he really smoked this.
Okay. Oh, damn it. I tried to do it. I could do it, but I can't do it right now. But yeah, no, it's so funny, man. I've seen so many like Denzel impressions like on YouTube and stuff.
You know why? Because like the thing about Denzel is that
I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Oh my God, bro, fuck, man. Denzel is Denzel in every movie. He is very much his own character on top of being whoever he's playing.
I know exactly what you mean.
Is just such a perfect example of that, man. Like this incredible role.
So yeah, man. So Denzel, I think
clear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the obvious, the MVP of the movie. But I do want to get into something a little bit more specific with you.
Seriously.
I mean, we could talk about Denzel for days, so that's why we're gonna put it to the side. Yeah. Denzel, we love you, my GOAT. Keep making movies. Hopefully, I get to meet you one day. But okay, now, curveball. I want to ask you, after Denzel, give me your person or maybe two people that impressed you. I have someone, but I would like for you to go first. To get a little bit more specific, I want you to tell me who was your surprise performance from. It could be one person, it could be two people, but I want to see where your brain's at.
This is so fucking random, and it's probably because we were just talking about him before. But honestly, the coach, Arthur Nasarella, was like, he was convincing. Like, he gave that vibe of like a high school coach in Brooklyn, or what you would think.
Sleazy coach.
Yeah, I enjoyed his acting in this movie, even though it was, here and there. But
what scene made you think that? Was there a specific scene or just his overall?
No, just overall demeanor. Overall? Like it felt like this dude is really a fucking high school basketball coach. Like this is a high school basketball coach in the '90s in Brooklyn, New York. Like dealing with what he's dealing with.
Much respect.
Obviously.
Please don't take mine. Please don't take mine. But go ahead, say it.
Obviously, Radio Raheem as the uncle, the scumbag uncle.
Oh, okay.
He was convincing in that role as well.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good. He was really good. It was a little weird. Sometimes the scenes with him, with the uncle and his wife, Jesus' aunt.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little weird sometimes, the relationship that they have, because, like, they're playful, but he's also, like, talking to her in a really bad, demeaning way.
There's some DV going on there.
Yeah.
But that's like, he's a dynamic character in that sense, and that's kind of why I also enjoy. He's another one. He's one of Spike Lee's baseline staff. Rest in peace, because he passed away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Wait. Let me give you mine before. Hopefully you don't take it.
Go.
So.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The sister.
Zelda.
Yes. What's her name?
Zelda Harris.
I can't remember. Zelda. I'm sorry if you're watching this.
You're so
Great
lucky,
job.
bro.
What?
You were so lucky.
Because you were gonna say that?
Obviously, I was a second away from saying the sister.
The sister. You too.
Yeah, you did.
No. But yeah, man, the sister. We watched this last night, doing our homework for the pod. Obviously, we do it for you. We do it for all you guys. But yeah, I was watching a movie, and you know what scene really brought that home for me? The scene where Ray Allen, Jesus goes into her bedroom. Ray Allen, no, obviously, but Jesus goes in.
To grab the that's a whole nother thing.
No, we'll probably get into that right now. But yeah, Jesus goes into the sister's room, and then he's just asking her about her day, and then the sister is telling Jesus how like, everybody's telling me that I'm gonna be rich and like I don't have to work no more.
She smoked that shit.
Yeah, I was like.
And at this time, she's actually a 13-year-old girl. She's born in 1985.
And she's like. She's second in line getting back surgery after Denzel Washington carrying Ray Allen.
No, she did it.
But yeah, man, that scene, I was like, oh wow, okay.
She did it.
Like it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like she was acting.
Yeah.
I was like, not bad.
That's why I'm so surprised to see there wasn't much more after this for her, because it felt natural.
Yeah. We checked her IMDb and there wasn't a lot, right?
Nah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe she didn't want to act no more. But wherever you are, we hope you're good. We hope you're safe and in good health. But and her other scenes, there are some other scenes as well where I'm like, she's not terrible. She's not the best thing, but she's not bad. No. Like she's really good. So that was mine. That was my surprise performance.
Definitely.
The sister.
Fuck with that.
Do you have anybody else? Or
I just, bro, like I was talking about earlier, and I don't want to be redundant, but I really do just love that Spike Lee staff. I love John Turturro, even though it's one part. My boy Roger, whatever, Gouverneur Smith, whatever, like.
Oh,
obviously,
Big Time Willie.
Big Time Willie,
yeah,
like.
Yeah.
But bro, the dichotomy of his role in Do the Right Thing as, you know, a special individual in the neighborhood where two, like, your drug dealing pimp persona, and he kills both. Like, he's convincing in both. But one of the reasons I love Spike's movies in this time is just because I love that base staff, and so it's hard for me to.
Staying within the Big Time Willie world.
Yeah.
How do you spell sex? HIV, motherfucker. yeah, you gotta go to school, you know. What's up, player? What up?
Yo, but see, he smokes that, bro. Like,
yeah, he does. But he does smoke it, but does it give you like a hint of like, you're trying a little too hard to do this?
But the thing is, it could seem hyperbolic, but at the same time, if you know someone like Big Time Willie,
which we all do, well, if you're from New York,
they really exist.
That's a big fact.
That's why it's in the nature of a New Yorker to be hyperbolic to an extent. So that doesn't read as an overall exaggeration. That reads true to character for me. That's why it doesn't register the same way.
When I was younger and I saw this movie, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what are you doing? And then again, older, wiser, I'm like, not bad.
You experience, you have more experience with people. It's just...
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about this person before we both forget. The prostitute, Mila Jovovich.
Yes.
Dakota.
She was good too.
She was definitely good. And then she went on to do like 20 Resident Evil
That's
movies,
one of the most painful sex scenes to watch.
Denzel's?
In like all the movies I've watched.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm bad as far as like, oh god.
No, like it's tough to watch.
Yeah.
That's also, before we get to the Dakota point.
Yeah.
That's what makes Denzel's performance too so good. It's that scene in particular where it's like, you're almost in the body of a man who's coming home from prison, struggling in that moment. You feel that shit, like you cringe a little bit. You get that secondhand crazy, man.
The Mila Jovovich, and her character is Dakota. Dakota, she's a prostitute that's right next door to a motel that Denzel's put up in.
Yeah. And
Denzel, throughout the movie, is seeing her being super bad, treated horribly by her pimp, Sweetness.
Jeffrey Bird.
Nice. That's why I got you in the pod. You heard. But yeah, no, I mean, she did a good job. She definitely did a good job. After this movie, she went on to do, like I said, 20 Resident Evil movies, so she got the bag. But
see, maybe because I'm not familiar with the Resident Evil.
I've never seen one movie.
I don't remember seeing her in anything
else. She did like 5, not 20. She did like 5 Resident Evils after this movie, from like 2002 to like, yeah. Whatever. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying she got the bag. But you ever seen that movie, The Fourth Kind?
Never saw it. Heard of it, obviously.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She plays the main character. It's like a movie, but it's also like a documentary. It blends the real life footage with the movie.
Interesting.
Alien abductions in Alaska. Fucking fire. You should watch it. But yeah, no, she's always been a good actress, respectable actress.
I liked her in this movie too. She played the role of a fucking battered hooker very well.
Yeah.
But that Sweetness, man.
Sweetness, Jeffrey Bird did his thing.
Yeah, he did.
That's like legit pimp.
He
pimp antics.
I'm telling you, man. I've stayed in places like that for 4 hours before. And that is a real thing. The drugs, the prostitutes, the pimps. It's an ugly thing.
It's not great.
Really, like if you are listening to this podcast just as a Time Flies loyalist and haven't necessarily watched this movie, watch it. If you've seen it, watch it again.
It's a great like time capsule.
It really is.
It just brings you back in time.
It's so good.
All right, so we talked about performances. We talked about actors and characters.
Have we talked about all the performances?
No, we have not. And you read my mind, my boy. So there's one person that we really haven't dived into. Let's just get right into it. Ray Allen's character, Jesus, the star of the movie. That's our reaction. Just not looking in the camera, looking around. Did you say something? Oh.
You know how people try to shit, to bring it back to like the belly comment. People shit on Nas for the way he acted in that movie, and And I haven't heard as slanderous remarks made towards Ray Allen.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't. Maybe because, and granted, I'm gonna prefix it with this: Ray Allen is legitimately my favorite basketball player ever. Not the greatest. He's my favorite basketball player.
Oh, okay,
ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dope.
He
Yeah, he's an NBA player. He's not an actor, so
right.
we get it. But
so
no,
and
go ahead.
with that said, this is the worst acting performance in one of my favorite movies I've ever. Like, you know, the scene that Dee brought up where his sister's in the room and he's trying to be as convincing as possible, and he don't take. It's the most unconvincing thing, and it really is lucky. It's lucky and unlucky that he's side by side with Denzel, because the masterclass overshadows it, but it also shows you all the holes in Ray Allen's game. Which, in all fairness, he only had 8 weeks of training in acting prior to acting in this movie, because they were trying to get the legitimate feel of like a basketball player coming straight from high school to the NBA.
Before you continue, my bad, and before we keep bringing up scenes that Ray Allen should never act again, we should talk about. I don't think we did this online. We should talk about the players that Spike Lee originally wanted for the role. So Spike Lee's first choice is R.I.P. Mamba, baby. Kobe, Bean, Bryant. And you told me offline why he didn't take it, but if you could share with the fans, with the loyalists.
So Kobe Bryant being the champion that he
my favorite player of all time.
Even is in death.
Favorite, not greatest. Favorite. Sorry.
He took a bad L to the Utah Jazz that year in the playoffs, and even though there was a possibility for acting on the line, he said, "Nah, my boys, I got to take this extensive training in the gym to make the same way that."
That sounds like Kobe. So.
And the same way that a Jordan got fucked up by the Pistons. Trains like it's just that same mindset. Yeah. So he chose that over the role.
And then after Kobe, Spike wanted to get either Allen Iverson or Stephon Marbury, which is the movie's loosely based off of Stephon Marbury. But Stephon Marbury, I've read and I've heard that he didn't want to audition for the role, and Spike wanted him to audition, so that's why Stephon didn't take it. But you told me offline that Allen Iverson actually did audition.
And they didn't like his performance.
Oh,
Tracy McGrady also auditioned. They brought Tracy McGrady in, but they said he didn't have the personality for it. Like, he was too introverted.
I'm surprised Allen Iverson. I didn't know, because I thought he didn't want to audition. But you're telling me that you found out that he did.
Oh yeah, I read that he did audition.
And I understand his acting wasn't as great. I mean, could it have been better than Ray Allen? Probably. But what I'm saying is, okay, Spike probably didn't pick him because of the acting, but if you take acting aside, I would feel like Allen Iverson is the perfect actor for this.
Yeah, for this. Yeah,
because
he represented
the tattoos he had. Obviously,
so you can speak to this too as not only an avid basketball fan, but as someone who grew up in the same era. Allen Iverson transitioned all aspects of style in the NBA.
No, yeah, of course.
He brought the quote unquote hip hop element in the style and the clothes, everything about him. There was nothing PC about him. Where all these guys, regardless of their persona outside of the game, off the court, they were always, prim and proper, media trained when they got in front of a camera. Allen Iverson was exactly who he was from Norfolk, Virginia, whatever hood he was from, and he brought that to the NBA. So when you're seeing the grittiness of, the hoods that a lot of these guys come from, Allen Iverson embodies that. So it would make sense. Granted, I've never seen him act. I don't know how, other than a fucking T-Mobile commercial where he sprint. But
me neither. But going back to that point where you're saying that he was authentically himself. Granted, that time period, as far as like fashion, fucking sucked, bro. Quadruple XL white tees.
Never bring back that super bad
do-rags and like quadruple XL sweatpants. That was the worst time for fashion,
I was a victim of it.
We all were.
It was our era in time.
But that's what you're saying about that Iverson impact. He's the one that made it cool. Everybody wanted to look like him, be like him.
Side. Even when they said, no, you gotta at least wear button-ups. They were showing over 4X button-ups. They were like,
yeah, he's the main reason why David Stern, R.I.P. He made the dress code.
Yep.
Because people were showing up with like white tees, do rags, and sweatpants. But Allen Iverson's low-key a GOAT. He got braided in the middle of a game by his mom.
Yeah, no.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
he's a GOAT. He never won a ring, and maybe his prime was a little shorter than it should have been, but
Facts.
he is absolutely a GOAT. I mean,
100%.
just from strictly the standpoint of style in the NBA,
Right.
he is the GOAT.
I feel you
The
on that.
handle, the everything. He is the fucking GOAT.
I feel you on that. But bringing it back to He Got Game and bringing it back to Ray Allen. Yeah, man, just piggybacking off what you said, like the acting. I mean, we're going to reiterate a lot. Like, he's going up against Denzel. This is his first acting gig. You're telling me he only had 8 weeks to prepare. So, like, okay, cool. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, come on, you could give me a little more. You gave one scene. I'm going to give you I have 2 scenes besides the one you gave me.
Yeah.
So another one is the first time he sees his father. The first time he sees
Yeah,
Jake
that could've
Shuttlesworth, Denzel's character. So Denzel and Jesus' sister, they
In the
go.
apartment.
Yeah, they're in the apartment. Ray Allen's character is not there yet, but Ray Allen 5 minutes later comes in. He comes into the scene, and oh my god, and oh god, he goes up to his sister and he's like, "Why are you letting strangers in the house? What did I tell you about strangers?"
I mean,
Bruh. It's like, what are you? Oh my god, bro. That was bad, bro.
terrible.
It was so bad. It's like, it's not even convincing. Like,
It's secondhand embarrassment just to watch it sometimes.
it's
but-
like you're not convincing that you're mad at your sister. You're not convincing that you have this hatred for your father.
What is Denzel thinking as this
Oh,
scene is going on?
I was thinking that last night, bro. I'm just like, what is his thoughts in the middle of this acting scene? He's
I
like,
wonder what the behind the scenes conversations were like.
Oh, like when he was
Like just trying to like coach him, put him on game, like giving him tips. Clearly, he never acted again. I mean, that was a service
I
to
don't think
us all.
so. Yeah.
Nah,
Okay. Listen up here. You gotta do better. You gotta do
I
better.
wish I could do a good Denzel impression.
My shit was whack.
It's the fucking bad.
My shit was whack. But okay, so that
So
was
that scene was definitely on my list too.
yeah. It was bad. It's just
Terrible.
yeah. It just wasn't great. And then the other scene,
Even his sex scenes are bad, bro.
that sex scene was fire though. That sex scene was fire though. Those 2 porn stars. Woo. Rick Fox. Rick Fox setting
See,
it
Rick
up.
Fox actually hit those 2. I guarantee it.
No, 100,000,000%.
Ray Allen was doing
He might have
weak
been
stroke.
he might have been married to Vanessa Williams at the time. She was a baddie, bro.
Yeah, she was.
He definitely cheated on her. I can't believe that. But I mean, he's Rick Fox.
What are you gonna do? He's Rick Fox, man.
Big facts.
So-
The other scene that I wanted to talk to you about, it's so subtle, but okay, it's the scene where Jesus goes into the coach's office, your guy,
Yes.
and then the coach pulls out a wad of hundreds, it's $10,000. So he pulls out the money, and then Jesus, Ray Allen's character, is like, I can't do anything with that, coach. Like, that's illegal. So then the coach,
right.
yeah. But the coach, the coach is like, I need you to go close the door. Ray Allen.
So guy, Jesus, like, go close the door.
Exactly. Coach says, go close the door. Ray Allen, before he gets up, he looks at the door. He looks at his coach. He scratches his head. As obviously,
Yo.
I'm confused. And then I'm like, no, bro. It was cringe,
bad.
dog. It's like, okay, I don't know what to do here, so I'm gonna do the most basic thing ever.
Yo.
It's like, oh my
so-
god, man. It was super subtle. I don't know if you remember it,
No,
but
of course I remember it. Like the thing is, it's hard for me to even depict scene. Like, it's just so bad. And like I said, it's definitely in the ratio of how good the movie is to how bad his acting is. It's one of a kind. It really is, because I absolutely love this movie. And like I said earlier, this is the worst performance out of any of my favorite movies ever. Like,
oh man. All right, so we got to give him some love. We can't just be shitting him all the time. I don't know if you have anything to like give him love about, but I actually have something.
okay, let's hear it.
So it's not really a
We're doing
scene.
charity today.
It's not really a scene, but the first time that you're introduced to Lala, Rosario Dawson's character.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson, what up? Shout out, New York all day. At the bus stop, correct. She's waiting for him, and then it cuts to Jesus. He's running down the street, right? He's trying to like catch the bus before the bus leaves him. I was watching it last night. So Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen's character, is running down the street, and then he's running, he's sprinting, and then he stops, and then he has swag to him. He's like, all right, the bus is not here. I see my girl over there, and he's walking towards Lala, and a lot of people were like, hey, Jesus, what's up? Like, yeah. I believed it.
You know why you believed it?
Because he didn't say anything?
Well, that's one. But the other part is because that's probably something that was very real to him. Like, that's the other thing that I think that this movie does great, and it is a little more niche, is it depicts the star of high school that everyone kind of knows, okay, he's the one. This is the type of shit he deals with. He's dealing with, people scheming from all angles.
I mean, I'm getting super specific, but like that's just the feeling I had last night when I was watching it. I was like, oh shit, okay, he's making me believe, like he's convincing me, and he when he starts talking to Lala, Rosario Dawson's character, he's doing a good job because Lala's basically like, what are you doing coming here late? Like, who do you think you are? And then Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth is like, come on, the bus don't come here without me, and like. It was cool. The dialogue was cool, and Ray Allen was cool up until that point. I was like, cool.
That also is the most natural and requires the least acting ability, in my opinion. Obviously, at that point, he's interacting with girls as Ray Allen, the human being. He's going through the fanfare of the local neighborhood. This is all stuff that's natural. It's like the people who think Eminem is a good actor because he was in 8 Mile. He was just doing he was reenacting his own life. But when you see when the chops are tested, and he's in there trying to reprimand his sister, you see it, my boy.
Great point. No, it's not there. But we had to show some love.
No, I mean, like I said, I can't show him any love on the merit of acting, but he's my favorite basketball player ever.
He hit that shot against the San Antonio Spurs for the Miami Heat. The backup
three. Which was very bittersweet for me in that moment because I wanted to hate the whole concept of Big Three, and I was definitely rooting for the Spurs in that series.
That was a great series.
Yeah.
All right, man. So Ray Allen, I gave you some flowers. We're gonna move on. Now, this is very interesting. I presented this to you right before we started recording this. I want to present to you the idea of what a sequel would look like. A direct sequel to this movie. It's been rumored for ages, obviously. Ray Allen's retired now, so Spike Lee and Ray Allen, they have more time. But Denzel's older, that's like the monkey wrench, whatever. But we're brainstorming, and this is live in person. We didn't really talk about it before the pod. Yeah. What would a direct sequel to this movie look like? Where is Jesus Shuttlesworth? Where is Jake Shuttlesworth? Is Jake Shuttlesworth alive?
I want you to set this off.
So I've thought about this a million times.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot, and I've had different ideas, man. One of the ideas is it's kind of corny. But Jake Shuttlesworth he's kind of down bad. He's down bad. He made it to the league, but he took it for granted, and then he wasted all his money.
Oh, you mean Jesus Shuttlesworth?
What'd I say?
You said Jake.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you for correcting me.
Gotcha.
Jesus Shuttlesworth is down bad. He made it to the league. He made a lot of money, but then he started acting up because the fame and shit got to his head, and then he went bankrupt, and then he's back in Coney Island.
Mm-hmm.
He's back in Coney Island in the same apartment that we see in this movie.
Yeah.
With his sister. The sister's still alive. His sister's with him. But he's down bad, and it's like, fuck, why am I here? And then there's like another kid coming up with the ranks, and he's trying to guide him. He's trying to show him. I'm telling you, it's super corny.
No,
but like
that's
like the Hollywood route probably. Unfortunately,
I don't think that's necessarily the Hollywood route.
Unfortunately, Denzel wouldn't be in this movie because he would have passed on. He would have transitioned.
Yeah.
But that's one of my ideas. Another idea, if we're gonna have Denzel a part of it, and if he's still alive, I don't know exactly what it will look like, but we would see Jesus and his father, Jake Shuttlesworth, actually have a relationship. I don't know how that looks like, if they're both coaching or if they're,
he brings him into the fold in some
Correct.
way.
Yeah. But they have an active relationship, and Jesus just finds out more about himself, finds out more about the family dynamic, and like what his father had to go through when he was coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For me personally, and I'm freestyling this time flies, but I'm going on and I'm listening to your idea, I would think that a lot of the sequel, obviously, goes into clearly him in the league and what comes with being in the league, where
Okay.
now he's kind of shedding off the dead skin of a lot of the people that are in this movie.
So he's in the league in this sequel. He's in the league in his prime.
He's in the league in his prime.
Got it.
He's shedding off all the elements that, he's probably dealing with backlash from his old neighborhood. He's probably, this is all real things that he never comes back and supports, all things that happen. I think that there was more of a hyper focus on the little sister and where she's at in life and how she's adjusting to fame. As the 13-year-old little sister who's still in school, and I kind of had the same sentiment about Denzel from your initial take, where for some reason I would register he's kind of transitioned at that point. Like
he's not in the movie. He's not in your sequel.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in the sequel.
No, but you know what's so good about what you just said about his sister, how she's dealing with fame, because she actually hints at it in this movie, in that scene when she's like, "I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be famous, I don't have to work." So we actually get to see it in the sequel,
and it might not be all that it's cracked up to be. I think that's the other part that it kind of takes into account, is that you get to the league, you work this hard to get to the league, and there's just so much bullshit that comes with it still.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Okay, so in your sequel, Denzel, has he passed, like his character, has he passed on? Or
he's passed on.
Oh, okay, so
that's
he
just
transitioned?
how,
Okay. But let's brainstorm together. Let's stay within your world. He's in the league. He's in his prime. He's killing shit. His sister's dealing with fame. Let's pretend that Jake Shuttlesworth, Denzel Washington, is still alive. How would we incorporate him into that movie?
Okay. If Denzel is in this movie,
is the relationship?
You know what's happening? He's almost on a complete separate track for the entire movie, fighting for appeals in the jail. Fighting, like, I see that. I see the majority of the movie, them not being in the same vicinity, kind of the game being on in the fucking, I forget the room that they all sit in prison.
Common room, I think? I don't know.
Yeah, where the game's on. It's like, yo, isn't that your boy? And he's kind of like aggy about it because he can't be there. He's resentful about the fact that they didn't let him out because he technically didn't get him to sign. There's those elements, and I think ultimately, maybe he somehow, some way, towards the end of the movie, maybe gets out. Or maybe he does, but I believe if Denzel is incorporated, they're never really in the same vicinity. Maybe some phone calls, maybe something like that, but he's in the system. He's fighting on appeals. He's doing stuff like that. He's dealing with being the father of the guy who's in the league, and he's so far removed. He's got people in his face like, "Oh, isn't that your boy?" Where you like dealing with that.
The movie left off. Jesus Shuttlesworth is open to having a relationship with his father. That's how the movie left off.
Yeah.
So in your right now sequel idea, when Denzel is still alive, and at the end of the movie he gets out, is the relationship okay, or is it still?
I think at this point Jesus Shuttlesworth is a more mature man and kind of gives his father
the benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of the doubt and more of a chance than he's in this movie, where he's a 17-year-old senior in high school, seeing his father for the first time after unintentionally killing his mother. Now, but here's the thing, though. Do you remember the end of this movie, where he's walking off of the yard and they got him in the scope?
Right.
It's almost like a suicide mission. That's why I don't think.
But he doesn't die.
I don't know.
They're about to shoot him, but then he walks back. But to build off where you're going, Jesus at the time is giving his father the benefit of the doubt. He's open to a relationship. To build on top of that, then the movie goes into Jake Shuttlesworth pretty much being the same dirtbag that he is. He's trying to get money from his son. He's trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going behind his back. And then Jesus is like, "What the fuck, man? Like, I gave you a shot. You're fucking up again. Like, I don't want anything to do with you." And go so on and so forth. So it's basically like he gets out of jail. I mean, depending on how far deep you want to go into the movie, whatever.
See,
but like,
I don't think that would be his character. I don't believe, because if you think about it, even in this moment, he wasn't necessarily on that type of time for money. He wanted to get out of jail and kind of rekindle his relationship with his kids, like even his Zelda. He felt like he missed time. He's seeing his daughter growing up. He's seeing his son. Obviously, his son has rose to prominence in basketball, but I don't feel like that's the crux of why he misses his son. I think, and especially when they do the callbacks to his childhood, he was rough on him, but he was he was there for. He was. It goes back to the Kendrick Father Time thing, but that's a little.
Go
like,
check out that episode.
Yeah,
the 2 episodes you heard.
He was tough on him, but he was a father. Like he never showcased that sleazeball behavior.
The reason why I'm smirking at you, pause, is because in the flashback scenes, even young Jesus
He's
was better than
old Jesus. I was gonna say
Ray
that
Allen.
earlier, but I wanted to give him some mercy.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yo Spike, bro, we need a sequel, dog. Like, but you know
Although
what?
I'm
Every time
scared.
every time I think about it, I am a little scared. But it's also like I don't think it's realistic. I really don't. Like I don't think
think
Denzel's
so
even
either.
remotely interested.
No, I don't think so either.
I really do think Ray Allen and Spike are interested
I think.
because I've heard like rumors back in the
Listen,
day.
the thing is, the reason why it can be so good is also the reasons why people are kind of reluctant for a sequel. I think the fact that they are so removed is kind of the reason why it can be good. If it came a little sooner, you're kind of trying to recreate
Yeah.
the same thing as the first. I think this would be at such a different point in life, just from a creative standpoint for a guy like Spike Lee, that the model and the shape of the movie would be completely different from this one. So the thing is, I'm always weary when one of my favorite movies either gets a sequel or so. Listen, I'm perfectly okay with having this classic here and there never be a sequel. Listen, if it actually happened and Spike Lee's behind it, even if Ray Allen, hopefully you got fucking more than 8 weeks of training, but I'm gonna see it regardless
100%.
of how weary I am.
Yeah. So you'd rather. Would you rather have a sequel? Okay, this is way too dramatic. Obviously, gun to your head. Would you have just the original, or would you want a sequel? Because I'm in the camp of I want a sequel.
Just the original.
Just the original. I feel you. I'm not mad at that. But interesting little tidbit. Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
No.
Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I've heard mostly positive.
Mostly positive.
Mostly positive.
Because that falls within the realm of what we're talking about. They made a sequel, obviously, to Top Gun, which was in the 80s. It's good, man. It's a legit sequel. It's not corny. It's not popcorny. It's like a legit story, a legit real time sequel. It fits into today's world. So that's the route I want this sequel to have if it were ever to come true. I want it to feel real. I want it to feel like, oh, this could happen in today's world. But yeah, Top Gun Maverick, they did a really good job, bro. Really good job. I was super impressed with that movie.
You know what my issue is
With what?
with Top Gun is that I never liked the original to begin with.
Oh, really?
It's like a very hyper 80s. It was just not my bag.
I feel you.
That's
Each his
kind
own.
of why. I mean, like I said, I've heard mostly positive things. It's not my bag.
You're just not getting into it.
It's
No, I
not
feel you.
okay.
Different strokes for different folks. Yeah, no, it's just cause
But
we
that
started
is
talking
interesting.
about
That's
it.
an interesting comparison to, just the fact that generally speaking, for people who are fans of Top Gun, the sequel comes out and it doesn't suck. And
No, it
we
doesn't.
are over 30 years removed. What year was the original Top
It's
Gun?
like 86.
Right?
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
while.
mid 80s. This
Yeah.
is so.
And I think it's the same kind of time frame from the original if they were to do a sequel to He Got Game. So this one came out in 98, 2008.
Yeah, you're dealing almost 25 years.
Yeah, almost 25 years. So.
Listen, when I see it, I'll see
100%,
anything
no,
with Spike Lee,
100%.
and just find a way to put John Turturro in it.
Of course. Spike, man, we need that sequel, bro. But try and get Denzel to change his mind because I think Denzel's the only one holding it back, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Spike, we love all your work, especially
Oh, yeah.
this.
And thanks for signing my Nick ticket.
Hey, there you go. Bring it back full circle. Yeah, man. Honestly, man, I think we really we really dived into this movie.
This was fun.
1998. Me personally, cult classic. 1998 classic to my boy.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
I'm not mad at you for that. And yeah, so like I said, we're bringing it back to the essence of Time Flies, what this was always going to be. We want to talk about movies, specific movies that Mike and I and me and other guests had an impact growing up, or just our favorite movies in general.
Yeah.
Just ideas that we always had about it, takes we've always had about it, and we want to share it with you guys. I'm not going to ask you if you want to plug anything.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to keep it moving. All the links are down below, obviously, for the website, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Links are down below. Go check them out. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to hit that like button, the thumbs up.
Like.
Remember to hit that subscribe button. And also, leave a comment. Like my man Mike says, keep it tasteful. Tell us what you think about the movie, if you liked it or not, if you've seen it or not. If you want a sequel, let us know. And if you have an idea for a sequel, let us know. We're very interested in that too.
And let us know what you think of Ray Allen's acting performance.
Yeah, definitely. Because like you said, like there wasn't really a lot of noise around it.
No,
Which I don't know why, which is weird.
Because I think it's a Spike Lee movie and
But still,
Denzel just carried the shit.
But I'm saying, but it's still like it's like right in your face. How are people not talking about it? That's why I'm like, it's weird. Like why people weren't talking about it.
You know,
I don't
maybe
know.
it's to your point that it is such a niche movie that people just watch it for like the elements of basketball and
Yeah.
that. So
Also, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast if you are listening to this on the Apple Podcast app. Rate, review, and subscribe. Also on Spotify and also on Google.
yeah.
We really appreciate it. We're trying to make this thing grow, obviously. And again, the Time Flies brand is not just sports. It's not just movies. It's all of culture. All
Yeah.
of it. Anything
All
that we're
encompassing.
exactly anything that we're interested in and anything that had a great impact on us, we're going to talk about it. And you can join in the conversation as
Yeah.
well. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. But until next time, thank you for tuning in, and we'll check you on the next episode of the Time Flies podcast. Peace.
No one